This is Raph streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon. And tonight, this morning, we're talking about Gen 0. So, first off, some really exciting news for Neindorf and I. We scooped up some land yesterday. So we kept our eye on this for a while, and as you know, listening to our last podcast with the Bog Site Chat crew, this is something we've been very excited about and can't wait to get into. We're hoping to do a lot more stuff that involves land in the future, but time will tell, and we really need to work with the dev team to see what's possible there. So today I wanted to go through a really brief update on Gen 0 summoning and Gen 0s in general. That's something that, I've been thinking about early on in the game. Gen 0s were wildly profitable, and they're nowhere close to the levels that they were when the game was going through its, absolute rocket phase. And, the question that I get a lot is, are Gen 0s worth it, or are you holding a depreciating asset? And I think, absolutely, everything that I'm saying kind of from this point forward, well, everything that we always say is not financial advice. We recklessly speculate here and, invest at your own risk. And, everything that I put into the game right now, I kind of expect to lose and hope to win. And so that's kind of my investment approach that I'm taking. So, what I've been thinking about is Gen 0s and how can you make the most out of them. And so a few months ago, I purchased a couple Gen 0s. I actually got two, I'll call them quote unquote pure Gen 0s. And when I'm talking about a pure Gen 0, to me, that means that your DR1 is at least the same. And so I got very fortunate that I found a knight that has DR1 too. And so that means that the dominant, the recessive 1, and then the recessive 2 are all the same class. So this gives me a really high chance in striking, at the advanced class. And then my other one is a warrior. And this one has a warrior dominant 1, recessive 1 is warrior, and then recessive 3 is warrior. So I have a pretty good summons chance when I pair these two together. And so what I did is I pulled together some information. Let me make sure this is showing up on screen. All right, so I pulled together some information of all the summons that I've done to date, the actual sale price of those heroes in Jewel. And then there's some heroes that I did not sell off that I'm putting like a prospective price against. And some of those I'm holding on to because they, it's a pure legendary knight. I have here those heroes I'm holding on to for right now, but we'll see what time tells. So all right, so I purchased these heroes on 5/26/22 approximately. I didn't get them both that same day, and I have the buy price for one of them was 5,000 jewel, the other one was 7,000 jewel. And right now I'm trying to kind of think of things in return on investment and jewel price, because you could think about it as return on investment in total dollars, and you should do that too. But for the sake of the way that I'm approaching things is I'm thinking about the game, from the long run perspective. And so I'm hoping, to return on investment from jewel, and then whatever the state of the game is, that will really determine, when I'm investing in jewel or when I'm divesting in jewel. But as long as you're returning on investment, then, and you can kind of think about those two things, not completely separately, but maybe in parallel. And so my total investment cost was 12,000 jewel. That was 101 days ago. And, my real return, it's about 6,000 jewel on these heroes. And my not yet sold, and so possible return, if I wanted to get rid of a few of these heroes, probably looking at, maybe another 1,900 jewel, because those, I am keeping some of the higher rarity guys there. So when I think about that, I have a return per day and a return per day possible, which would be like if I sold those off, like this is maximally what I'm getting from my rewards. And so my ROI right now, I'm estimating, is to be about 200 days if I continue on my current pace, and about 150 days if I was just, going all out selling all the heroes that I'm pulling in. And so that, 150 days, quick math, that, that's about half a year. And so, in some ways, while you're not getting like the compounding interest, you are still playing the game and you are receiving quest rewards as well. And that's close to, returning in half a year, which means that you're doubling your investment after the stretch of an entire year, which is in my mind close to, and again, I'm not counting compounding interest that you'd be getting from the gardens, but close to a 200% ROI. And so with that in mind, I think that Gen Zero heroes, now again, these are pure Gen Zero heroes, I think have a real opportunity out there, and that's still the case. And I'm starting to see the Gen Zero market tick up in price. With the Clayton announcement, we are going to get another chance to re-roll genes for heroes, and so I would start to expect to see more pure Gen Zeros hit the market once that re-rolling is available. If you already have pure heroes, well, for my pure heroes, I will not be re-rolling them. And so something to just keep in mind out there is that there's going to be an opportunity to potentially get your hands on some pure heroes. And then if you navigate over to our website, something that I can easily, what I like to do is just check the market for pure Gen Zeros. You can kind of throw in any hero number here that you want to, click for sale, make sure you set your maximum generation to 0, ignore the summoner cooldown when you're looking for things for sale, and then leave this search on main class just wide open and look for recessive 1 must match dominant, make sure that box is checked, and then go ahead and click view. Right now there are 3 heroes on the market. This hero on the floor right now is probably about $3,900, $4,000, and that price is in crystal at 23,000. Crystal, this warrior out there is close to 50,000 jewel. I mean, that was like close to the price of land that we just purchased. And I believe Crypto Grady, I was on with him last night. Actually, it was earlier this morning. It went so late. I believe he picked it up, and I don't know if it was him for sure, but there was an a pure archer, pure miner. It was insane that it was on the market for this long, and if I didn't just buy land, I, sure as shooting would have bought this. And that was going for 15,000, just under 15,000 jewels. So a steal to whoever grabbed that one out there. And just something to think about and look out for. So I also have an extra warrior. So, I'm sitting on 3 Gen Zeros right now, 2 warriors, and 1 Knight. I'm actually thinking about probably hoping to essentially trade in and trying to look to do one of 2 things, because I actually have found a lot of enjoyment out of the safety of pairing your heroes together. You're going for the one thing that I would say here with my calculations is I'm not counting in my summoning cost, which I probably should do. I'm just counting in like my pure perfect returns. And the reason I wasn't doing that, and I probably should, so I certainly don't want this to be misleading to anyone, is that I was pulling just rewards out of the garden, and I was kind of considering that my playing money, so to speak. But I can put that in there as well. But with the summoning 2 heroes together, that's costing at most 60. And I did re-roll the basics on, the visuals on both of these heroes. And so I had a period in time there where I was summoning well under the 60 jewel threshold as well for both of these heroes, which was a nice booster, and probably brings us closer to what my analysis is now. So, as I've been thinking about this, what am I going to do next? I have 3 heroes. I'm thinking about, probably putting, either trying to trade one of them in for a pure of, not a warrior. So like maybe this thief out there. I think eventually I'd like to get a pure thief and a pure archer, or just take some of the jewel that I make from that sale and get it back into the garden, since my gardens are pretty depleted after a move onto land. So let me jump over onto YouTube real quick and just see what questions we're getting. Do you think the odds of pets will be better, or is it just a cosmetic rarity? The odds of pets, and I guess if you major, maybe if you'd clarify on the question, um, do you mean the odds of rolling the rarity on your pets, or what pets will boost, or how they will impact the game? Not quite sure I follow. And for those of you out there on YouTube, go ahead and drop a few questions if you have any. I'll answer a few, and then I'm probably gonna log off and keep this one as a short vid. Tonight I'm gonna be joining Crypto Grady again, and we're gonna be going over looking at Fight Club, DFK Fight Club. We've got a lot of really exciting development things going on there. Trying to work with the team on getting integrated into the raffle system, which I hope is coming sometime in the next few weeks. And also, we have a tournament coming on next weekend hosted by the Bogside Chats crew. So if you haven't heard about that already, just ask Franz or Guy Kid or Maddie Pask in Discord, and they'll get you hooked up for sure. So any questions? We'll kind of let this run out for another 30 seconds or so. I hope everyone's having a good Labor Day weekend. For those of you here in the U.S. celebrating that holiday. For those of you outside of the U.S., welcome as well. Hopefully you have a relaxing weekend. We get the day off tomorrow. So that'll lead to a lot more DeFi Kingdoms time for myself here. All right, so major clarified. I mean, the odds pets like the 9 pet rock, they're just a rare cosmetic that is just as good as any other mythic 9 of 9. So I'm not quite sure I'm following your question. Maybe I stayed up way too late with cryptography. Not maybe. I definitely did. Uh, from the standpoint of pets will I think that from my understanding is that rarity does impact the bonuses, and I don't think this is confirmed. Well, I think the details aren't known yet, but I believe that pets rarity will impact their bonus, and this is something that I'm kind of speculating on, but if you have a pet with 1 star fishing bonus and they're a common pet, I think that'll be different than a mythic pet's 2 star. Even if they had a one, let's say, because that's not even possible. So, common 2 star fishing bonus. I think that the pet that is a mythic with a 2 star fishing bonus will actually be more powerful. Is a pet rock just as good as any other mythic? I don't know. I think it also depends on, you know, um, what I what the supply of pets will look like. And so, I think pets are going to provide boosts to heroes, and potentially people might want a pet boosting every one of their either combat heroes or boosting their supply run heroes. I think I actually don't have any pets right now still. I'm hoping to kind of wait for a dip in the market to get into buying pets. I do believe they're going to be really important in the future. All right. Brown Gent mentioned 10 of 10 Gen 1 buying. Tavern is so slow. Yeah, Tavern is really slow right now. I'm expecting it to probably pick back up once they get to, the team. Dreamer last week hinted to Dark Summoning being a possibility. So I think that could be really interesting way to boost. And it sounds like Dark Summoning rarity and number of summons left will boost the outcome, and so you're going to burn the 2 heroes, and this is kind of speculation now, but you'll probably burn the 2 heroes and some jewel, and both that would be both of the parent heroes, and then the child hero would be boosted based on the presumably the number of summons that each of the parents has left and their rarity. So I think it's I would hope that the market picks back up from that standpoint, and I think that's why I go back to why I really like having two Gen Zeros and summoning them together. You get to summon for that cost of 60 crystal right now. You should be doing all your summoning over on Crystal Vale because of the potential ARB opportunities, and it's just lower cost, lower risk. And if you're selling right now this morning, 10 out of 10 was around 105 joules. So you're guaranteed getting 40, 45 joule depending on how fast you want to get off of it. 45 joule back in return. Major. Next question is Joule a good hold for the year? Again, not financial advice, but I think Joule is going to go up, and I think how much do you believe in the DeFi Kingdoms team? I talked about this with Crypto Grady a little bit last night. The fact that they are, their proposal, I hope in a really good way, incentivizes them for the long run. And so Joule is now a deflationary asset, which means that once we get to the Clayton transition, there will be no more Joule minted. And they will have the flexibility to change the burn rate on that. Jules uses the gas fee on Crystalville. And so they'll be able to throttle in some ways what the future price of Joule will be. But I have a feeling that the DeFi Kingdoms team is making a long-term play here. They are massive Joule holders. Now, that's just speculation. I have not done the research myself, so go do your own research. But I would bet that, they're kind of staking for the long run of the game, so to speak, and hoping that Joule goes up in price. I am surprised that Crystal has come down this much so fast. It's like double Joule not that long ago. So we'll see where Crystal goes. I'm, another possibility of me getting off of one of my Gen Zeros, because I have that, that third wheel essentially, is that I'd like to get some more liquid Joule, or trade it in for the start of a new Gen 0 pair, again, maybe Archer or Thief. So, gotta make your own investments. Major, but great question. And I would suggest keep watching the AMAs and see where things go with the Clayton network. But you're super bullish. So am I. Absolutely, so am I. All right. Well, that looks to be it for the question. So, thanks for letting me drop in quick on a Sunday morning here, my time, and I hope everyone's having a great weekend, and I hope this was valuable. So take care, and I'll catch you in Discord.